Hey, my name is Kiaiari and my company is Tay Kids.
My name is Kiaiari Taylor. My name is Kris Taylor.
Tay Kids started when my daughter Kiaiari was in the hospital. She was getting treated for sickle cell anemia. During her transplant journey, she also had to get chemo. So her hair eventually fell out throughout the days. And I would kind of just brush her head, and massage it. And I thought about, okay, hey, how about I call it a boy brush. So I got her a boy brush, and at that moment, she's so girly, she didn't like it. So I was like, well, let me make it girly for you. So I ended up putting diamonds on it, and she loved it since then. So I got the idea from that. After that, I just started actually making more. Some of the most challenging moments during Kiaiari treatment was me having to watch her go through crisis, go through pain, throw up, cry, and she didn't look herself. She just looked drained, and she didn't look like the energetic daughter that I knew.
It felt really bad and I didn't like it. I was really sick. The hardest part about being sick was when I had to throw up and had to get the shots.
I managed to stay strong through a family because, for one, I did pray, and I have a praying family. I have a big support system on my side as well as her dad's side. So I had a lot of people around me to talk to every day. And I also had her because even though she looked drained, she still was that same Kiaiari in the inside, and she made sure that I knew she was okay. So
I help her by getting healthy.
I came to the decision with the stem cell transplant first by research. So when I first found out about her having sickle cell anemia, I didn't know anything about it. So what I had to do was Google it. I researched day in, day out. So then I finally asked her doctor what was some different routes we can go, because they actually didn't tell me any. I had to ask myself. So they told me about the stem cell. It was two: the stem cell transplant as well as a bone marrow transplant. So the bone marrow is actually for someone a little bit older than she was at the time. So they did tell me more about the stem cell. And once they explained it to me, I was okay with doing that.
It felt good because my brother helped me and it made me feel better.
The emotions leading up to Kris Jr. being her donor was very emotional, because from the beginning, that was emotional itself, because for one, we had to make the decision to A, put her on a donor list, which probably could have been on there for years, or B, try for another baby. So if we had not tried for another baby, she may not have actually been able to get the transplant. But the other thing with having another baby was he also could have had the same disease. So we had to make a decision. So we sat, cried day in, day out. We decided, hey, if at this point we're gonna try, and if God chooses to give us two sick babies, that's just what we were supposed to do. So we tried. My son was born, he was healthy, he didn't even have the trait, and he was able to be her donor.
I feel good by helping my sister. Some things I want people to know who's living with sickle cell is that it's really hard to eat and it's hard to sleep because it's uncomfortable.
During the stem cell transplant process, Kiaiari was very sick. She, again, just didn't look herself. During the actual transplant day, it was really emotional. She cried. She wasn't really understanding it fully, so it was hard for us to watch her go through it without her really understanding why we letting all the doctors do this to her. So the procedure, she actually was not asleep. She was actually woke, and they just had to inject a lot of things in her, and we had to sit there and rub her back and help her throw up whatever was coming in. And so it was really hard, but at the same time, I knew that after all of this, everything would be fine. Her life changed a lot. So those hospital stays every 2 to 3 weeks, weeks at a time, all of that no longer exists. So she's 100% sickle cell free. She can do whatever she wants. At first, there were certain things she could not do. Like, she could not go out in the cold and play in the snow. She could not eat things too cold like ice cream. Certain things she couldn't do. She couldn't do any sports. Growing up, they said she can't do any sports because she can go to a crisis. Now she's in gymnastics. She does whatever she wants with no issues. A message that I hope to share with other families is don't give up. Ask lots of questions. Get more than one opinion. That's what I did. She went to multiple doctors at one time until we can figure this thing out. Do not let them just say, no, you can't do this, do that. Do research. You have to do a lot of research. That's what I did. I did day in, day out. I cried day and night until we figured it out. So don't give up. The impact that I pray that Tay Kids have on others is to understand first the awareness of sickle cell anemia or any disability. You don't have to be afraid to share your journey because it can help others. I also hope that other people understand that Tay Kids is just a show that regardless of your disability, your race, gender, we are all the same. We can all be helped one way or another, and we should all be treated fairly. Hey, I'm Kiaiari Moore, and you can find me at Tay Kids on Facebook as well as Tay Kids on TikTok.